right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Alrighty, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Happy little Wednesday here.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Estoy bien, gracias usted.
Look at this guy, that Colombian girlfriend. He's working on his Espanol.
Wow, impressive.
Sí.
Uh-huh. Okay, look at him, huh? You impressed, Virginia?
So impressed.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that's good.
I've been doing that bit since 8th grade. I
Oh,
learned
okay.
that first part of Spanish, and I'm like, oh, ¿cómo está? So, estoy bien, gracias. ¿Y usted?
That's good. You know, that's practical Spanish. I mean, it kind of gets you in the door, and that's really it. You know, we've got our cleaning lady just down the hall, and she was in the bathroom, and I was coming in, and that's really where it is. You just hopefully have a few things that you can say. And if I was in that, like what just happened, I'm like, okay, did I say that right? I wanted to say something. I was unsure how to do it. So I look it up immediately, and I kind of try to practice that. So if I wind up in that situation again, then I'm able to hopefully talk my way out of it.
My thing is, and we've talked about it before too, and I've talked to my girlfriend about it. When I'm learning Spanish and I'm trying to like learn the accent as well.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
I not on purpose. I just think that's how I'm learning, and I don't ever want to.
It's good if you can get that.
I don't want to be in a situation where my accent is so fucking whack. It
Yeah.
looks like I'm being disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you are learning a language like that, I'll say certain words and you can tell I'm not speaking the native tongue.
Right.
But then sometimes I can adapt an accent and then it sounds like, are you fucking making fun of my accent? Like, no. That's how I've been learning with
Yeah.
the teacher I've been listening to.
I think a lot of people in South Florida, they kind of fumble their way through it. If you can get through it. And my inspiration was when we were, at our station that was down there in Broward County, and I had an apartment in Coconut Grove. I was staying there one morning, and I was trying to get out, and my gate wasn't working. And the guy in Coconut Grove there that was the maintenance guy, I'm sitting there trying to tell him, so I need to get to work. And the gate is stuck. It's trapped. I can't get out of this, garage. And I'm like, mi carro no vroom vroom. And I'm like, the gato no openo.
Exactly.
And I'm like, and he's just looking at me like, you stupid ass gringo.
dick-face.
And we're not getting anywhere. And it just took a lot longer than necessary. It was such a miserable experience trying to get there. And of course, I'm panicked and freaked out that I'm going to miss the show and all kinds of problems were going on. So I'm like, you know what? Just get some functional Spanish down. And I find that sometimes I can't say it perfectly, but I can kind of say the words and fumble through it. And
I always look at intent. If someone's like not trying to be a jerk and they're just trying to communicate with the best of their ability, there's no need to be offended.
and I've never reached that with the offense. And I've had people that didn't have very good English skills, and I never got upset with them.
No,
I was like, clearly they don't know much. I'm trying to help them be like, okay, let's try to find what words you do know, because that's it. I do the conversational part of my little Duolingo app, and so they're asking me questions like, well, in my mind in English, I want to answer it this way, but I don't know how to answer it that way, so I got to kind of go around a little bit to kind of say the same thing with just the words I do understand and know.
See, that's why it's good sometimes to act things out. It does help. People know that's why I've been learning how to become a mime.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And eventually my car no vroom vroom. Eventually the guy got it, but
Exactly.
it took a little while.
If you're like going like this, you'll
But
eventually.
I was. We were playing charades.
Yes.
And I'm like,
But I think that's common. If there's a language barrier, which there can be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was just thinking that too. I was like, I just wish I had more opportunities with native speakers that were speaking it around me, because then I would be able to really pick up those things. I could try things. Denny's wife, Jen, had a Spanish roommate, and so she's fluent in it because of all the times that she said, hey, only speak to me in Spanish. And when you're forced to, one, it's exhausting mentally, but two, it does put you in that situation where you've got to really try. I don't get enough opportunities to practice it to really get good like I want to.
I love it.
It'd be fun.
You need to get all the Mexican people in your family to only speak Spanish to you.
My father-in-law will, but my wife doesn't speak Spanish. In fact, my father-in-law is so disgusted with her. She never took the time to learn. He's like, I freaking shipped her off to our Mexican family, and she was living with them, and she would not. She refused. I think out of spite, she kind of refused. Like, I'm not going to learn Spanish. Screw you guys. And they were trying to speak to. She's like, and she wouldn't respond.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I played baseball with a lot of Latin players, and I got to tell you, they never got offended. They had great senses of humor. If you fucked up the language, they would not. They really did embrace you, even trying. I played with 3 different college teams, and all 3 teams had a lot of Latin players, and they all pretty much had the same type of attitude and sense of humor towards it. And it just seems like they have a good attitude towards it when it comes to stuff.
They probably appreciate that you want to learn their language.
Yes.
I've never been in a situation where somebody was upset that I was trying to fumble my way through Spanish. They all seemed like they were very understanding and appreciative that I was giving it a try.
Yeah, that was the vibe.
And to not discourage me.
The vibe I got the same way.
Yeah. In fact, there's a lot more where they're kind of bleeding the two together. And I'd seen the report today, and I paid attention, obviously, because it's what we do. They're revving up another one of them AI morning DJs. And it was on NBC News here today. We worked for a company that had tried AI Ashley in Portland, Oregon. And I don't think that's still going, but they were on the early end of it. And I thought, okay, that's going to be the end of it, because I thought in my mind it had kind of failed. And they're like, okay, nobody wants to hear AI DJs. But the report is of this station. It's in maybe California. And they speak a little bit of it's Spanish and English mixed together. So they'll go in and out of, whatever. And so I assume if they want emphasis, you use a Spanish word, but they do some English as well. But the male co-host is all AI. It's just responding to the female, what she's talking about. And I guess it's apparently so successful, they're starting to syndicate it now. And I'm like, gosh, is this where we are? And they've got the visual on him. Like when he's talking, he's an AI avatar that's talking back to her. And
really?
Yeah, I was just like,
Again,
for me, I hate seeing this stuff work.
I know. Again, we as a society have gotten jacked up about a lot of things that were really popular in the beginning. And we all said this is going to be the future and getting all jacked up. And it didn't work out that way. I still believe the human spirit will win for majority of people. I'm not saying that AI doesn't have its place on the planet.
It does have a place, but it doesn't have a place in creativity. It doesn't have a place in giving me entertainment. I don't want entertainment from AI. I want it from people.
For a person like me, as soon as I find out someone's giving me an opinion and it's AI, I turn it off immediately.
Yeah.
It's just and there's other people like me that are going to agree, and there's going to be other people who don't give a frog's fat ass, because Kevin's right. A lot of it does well. But are they tricking the algorithm for it to do well? Because some of this content is horse shit content, and it does really well, and you're watching it going, something doesn't seem right here.
It's so weird.
It is weird.
Well, in this incident, they're talking about how the ratings went up with men, so that's the reason why they did it. So they justified themselves and what the ratings look like. And, part of it, I partially blame some of these radio companies that they'd even try, but part of it, I blame talent, because they got so freaking boring and safe that you could be replaced by a damn robot. And it happened in the world of syndication, where DJs were not working hard like they should have and doing that kind of show that you can't recreate with another DJ in another market or with an AI DJ. And so I've heard a lot of mediocre radio where people were not trying hard enough like they should to really be a great personality. And when you don't work at your craft, that's when they bring in something mediocre to replace someone who is mediocre that costs more money.
Yeah, good luck trying to duplicate this shit.
Exactly. That's what I said.
Where are these AIs doing mime bits? Where are these AIs
can't do this.
Can't get on the fucking bright line because they got a murderous knife in their purse. Yeah. Where are you at, AI? Duplicate this. Honestly, that's the only thing we got going for us is our originality.
And insanity.
No, it is. I'm telling you, that's going to be the modern day new profitable thing. That's going to be the thing people want, is originality and real people being authentic. Everything else is everything's a fucking avatar.
You're right.
But do something to stand out. Honestly, if you do anything creatively and you say, you know what, AI could easily have done the same thing, that ain't good enough. You need to go back and try again. Because otherwise, I don't blame, at that point, I don't blame these corporate execs, because if I can do the same thing cheaper and the quality's exactly the same and I can pay less money, duh. I'm gonna do
But
it.
also, too, some people are just good at reaching an audience and knowing how to talk to their own audience and get them on their side. And they don't need this or that or AI. And someone like that's going to be okay because they have an audience. Their audience loves them. There's a relationship there. Like any kind of relationship. And if you have a strong relationship with your audience, they're not going to leave you.
Just be better than AI.
Unless you do a Louis C.K. or something and you start jerking off in front of everybody.
I think what Kevin's saying without saying it is he wants me and you to act crazier.
I mean, good fucking luck, dog. I'm trying. I mean, I
Honestly, in a sense, I am. I'm saying just don't be anything that AI can duplicate. And that goes for anybody on this show or anywhere else. If you're a creative, do something good enough that AI can't replicate.
yeah, don't be lame.
Yeah.
But my point, my counterpoint is that there's a lot of lame shit. I know that's an opinion, but I'm talking the product just looks like shit. The person talks like this. Justin Bieber is now, and it's got like 9 million views. It's got 11 comments on it. It's, but they figured out an algorithm. Something's amiss here. I'm telling you.
It does seem like the system is rigged.
Something is not complete. It's not an honest system. It's just not.
Well,
And that's what you have to tell yourself when your videos do shitty.
It's the coping that you do. That's how you cope.
It's not my fault.
That's
Yeah.
not my fault.
It's the damn algorithm.
Yeah, it's the algorithm. It's not my sucky way.
AI's not that much better than me. We were talking about the greatest concert venues in the history of South Florida earlier because I was very excited to see the Miami Marine Stadium is going to be refurbished, it sounds like. $10 million you're going to go to it, and I don't know how much it's going to cost. It looks like it needs some work, but it is a cool concept. Have you never seen on Virginia Key there where you have a concrete kind of like the grandstand that goes down, and then you have the water. They do a lot of speedboat shows and things like that. And then you got the skyline of downtown Miami, which so much more impressive than what it was when they closed that thing in 1992.
Yeah.
You know, and looking at that on the far left, you know, it's pretty awesome because I went to a concert that was in the parking lot. I just remember looking back, I'm like, such a cool scene. And then even at the concert I went to, there were a lot of people who pulled their boats up and were listening to the concert from the water. Like what happens if you're at Bayfront Park or if you're on the West Palm Beach waterfront, which is such a cool, unique thing. I mean, going to a concert and people are like jamming out on boats and stuff like that. It's great.
On the boat, they're drinking. They're definitely porking.
Sure, whatever
There's
you want to do,
drinking on
baby.
the boat. There's porking on the boat.
Yeah.
By the way, someone in the chat room used the word porking earlier. I love that word. It's
great.
Underrated word for fucking.
Yeah. And Karen had said, yeah, Six Flags Atlantis, Grand Prix, Race-A-Rama, the wooden roller coaster, they're all the same place in Dania Beach. My first concert was with my now husband in 1985. It was Cheap Trick.
So Grand Prix Race-A-Rama and Six Flags are the same place?
I don't know. That's what she said.
I don't know dick about this area. And I
You
grew
really
up
don't.
here. I'm the
Yeah.
native.
Yeah.
You should give me the most basic.
Can we
South
bring in
Florida.
AI Jaybird?
Yeah, I want to see how terrible I can do on those basic South Florida quiz.
All geography is now done by AI Jaybird.
We'll just have to tag in. That's what we do. We can tag in AI Jaybird when it's like, yeah, okay, South Florida geography, boom, go.
Well, that's how I'd always
AI
do.
bird.
That's how I tell the people the directions. Well, tell me how to get there. Well, it's okay. By that McDonald's near the Wendy's next to the Taco Bell.
Yeah.
There's always food landmarks.
Yeah, I don't. That one I did not know myself. I remember the one. I just remember the wooden roller coaster. And I think the last I saw it was a Boomers, if I remember correct. Because I remember I thought that was odd because they had a Boomers in Boca too.
I think you are right.
I think that was the last I remember, but that was kind of a little bit before my time. It wasn't. It's never really been a thing since I've been here. I mean, if it was going, you have to go back. And I think it was up and running, but not. Well, if that makes sense. It was always closed.
Even in the 80s, you drove by Grand Prix Race-A-Rama. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know if I fucking get on that thing. It was like this wooden, you could almost like hear it creaking on I-95.
What's that thing made with? Toothpicks?
It looked like some shit that needed to be torn down.
Yeah, so it was the Grand Prix that turned into Boomers, and like Patty said, Grand Prix and Atlantis were two different venues. So
Okay, because I remember Six Flags Atlantis came down here, and it was a big fucking deal.
It's a big chain. I mean, it is. Or you go around the country, and I think they'd had one in Dallas. So I think Kansas City had one.
But the one we had down here, it specialized in water stuff. It was all
that's
watery. Cool. The wave pool. That was before I thought wave pools weren't gross.
Before you knew better.
Yeah, I was like 7.
Kids don't care.
This is cool. And now you realize everyone's just pissing and shitting.
Everybody's got a cocktail and no one's getting out of the pool.
Yeah. Is that blood? I don't want to even look.
And a comment from Jennifer said, right now, my favorite venue is the Parker in Fort Lauderdale. Intimate, and they have great acts. Yeah, that was the one thing, because I was coming up with my favorite 4, and I had the Miami Marine Stadium there. Love Bayfront Park. I think that's great. West Palm Beach Waterfront is there. Hard Rock Stadium is close to it. But, yeah, you need one more intimate, grungy type of shithole. Is really what it is, because the music is so great in those situations.
Well, we're shithole people.
Well, you know, a lot of times you get groups. If you've ever been to a shithole and you've seen a group, I remember when I was in college, we had this basement bar, and you had to go down kind of like a skate. They don't really have them in Florida because you don't have the lower levels like what we do in southeastern Ohio. But I remember you couldn't get in because it was so packed. And so I was just kind of hanging in, trying to see in a window, because there's this group called Toad the Wet Sprocket that everybody was talking about. And so the whole town, Ohio University, it's an college town, and the street is just packed as people are trying to look into this little shithole bar that held maybe 200 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just to me, that's just cool, because it's just, there's so much energy and there's so much excitement. And look, you see some big acts that go back and they will surprise their fans, and they'll play that venue because they love the raw energy and the intimacy of a venue like that.
And for them, it's nostalgic.
Yes, and you can't beat it.
There was a place, I don't know if you guys were in town yet or not. Maybe it was called the Underground Coffee Works or Underground. It was on Clematis, and you'd have to go downstairs.
I do remember that story.
And it was big for singer-songwriter kind of stuff.
I never saw a show in there, but I do remember. It was probably about 20 years ago.
Super cozy.
Yeah.
Is it like across from the fountain?
Yes.
That's almost exactly.
What you're talking about is exactly what they kind of did. And like a Swampgrass Willie's, if you were a local musician, you ended up there at some point.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Good recommendation there. Also got Lorelei talking about a place. I don't think I know of this place. The zoo, I think she's talking about.
Back in the 80s, right before Hurricane Andrew, Metro Zoo used to have a really cool amphitheater. And it had a big field, and you'd sit. I saw Dizzy Gillespie when I was a kid, and Cat Stevens. And they had a lot of bands play there. It would be awesome if the zoo had the amphitheater like it used to, and you could go to the zoo, do your thing, and sit on a lawn and watch a really cool band play.
Now, Metro Zoo, I don't know. Is that now? Because that probably wouldn't be Zoo Miami, right? Because Zoo Miami's kind of far out.
Because I remember the Miami Zoo was another big deal. You'd go down there. It was when, if you were going to the Miami Zoo, that means Dad had a good month at work. And holy shit, we're going to see some big ass fish. But I don't know if it's the same thing.
Okay, I think it is. Yeah, it's just had different names. Miami Metro Zoo, and then I don't know what year, but at some point then they changed it to Zoo Miami. But yeah, it's a ways out there.
I mean Cat Stevens. You're talking Cat Stevens playing. We're talking the 70s probably.
Yeah.
Because Cat hung him up when he was in his heyday. He said, I can't do it. This world's full of sin, this rock and roll lifestyle. Too much porking, probably. Look, it comes with the territory.
Well, his name was Cat.
Kitty Stevens, they called him.
Kitty. The old Kitty. Comment from Diana. We were talking about what fictional town would you love to live in, and she said, "Hey, Truman Show would be a good little place.
Very cozy. Even
nice.
Pleasantville. You guys ever see that movie where it starts off black and white, and then it starts turning into color because the two characters are kind of sinful, and if it's black and white, that means everything is pure and innocent. And Reese Witherspoon's character's a little bit more of a, She likes to have fun. So
Throw that kitty.
if I think she liked to throw the kitty, and the town starts to turn into color. I think you would love that movie.
Okay.
How the fuck did you not see that movie?
There's a lot I haven't seen.
No shit, man. You win the No Name Movie game? It's so infuriating. There is no justice, Kevin.
I know, right? Wild. Jennifer asked her, she said, will you be doing mini primary election chats informing us what will be on the ballot and what each is about, and remind KVJ Nation that us independents are allowed to vote in the primaries as well? Okay, first part, will you be doing mini primary election chats? Yeah, look, to be fair, I mean, yeah, in a sense, we are political. I had said yesterday that I am not stumping for a party. I'm not stumping for a candidate. But when it comes to issues, I will give you my opinions on those. And I encourage you to do your own investigation as well. But there are some things, like I said, man, voting and politics, all that stuff, it's a necessary evil to what we have. And to me, you don't have a right to bitch about stuff if you're not voting.
Also, too, there are some topics that are pop culture topics that do cross over to where, we may have to dip a little bit in talking about politics because that's part of the whole conversation.
Yes,
but
right.
it's never our goal to just talk politics. There's too much of that shit out there anyway.
Well, the Miami Marine Stadium, I mean, that was a ballot issue.
Yeah.
People voted for it. There were people that were clearly against it. Technically, that's a political statement by me giving my approval, and I'm happy that they did that. So, so those things are going to be unavoidable. So, I will point out some issues. I'm more of an issue person, but I'm not really going to talk too much on candidates ever.
No, please don't. I will jump out the fucking window.
She said, and remind KVJ Nation.
I'll go with you.
We'll go together.
She said, and remind KVJ Nation, us independents are allowed to vote in the primaries as well. I didn't know that. And I looked several times because, look, I don't want to miss a chance. I did not vote, and I checked again, and it still said Florida is a closed primary state. And they went on to talk about just how many people that is. They said Florida had over 3 million registered voters with no party affiliation for what people commonly call independents. That's about 25% of Florida's 13.5 million active registered voters. So I kept checking, and it kept telling me, I mean, maybe my chat GPT just didn't want me to register a vote, but anywhere I've ever been, it's always been closed primaries because I've always been an independent. So I've never been able to vote and those things. If that is incorrect and chat GPT is lying to me, then let me know.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck I'm listed as. I remember I had to fill something out in high school, and I don't know, what are we doing?
What am I?
Someone wrote me an email. I love how people think they know how we all vote and what we stand for. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't know what I put down when I was 18 years old. I probably had a girl help me do it because I had a crush on her.
And I just copied whatever she did.
Well, someone was calling me out about something I don't even remember doing. I'm like, I was 18, motherfucker. What were you doing at 18?
Yeah. Boy, the details on that Michael Caruso case. He's the Palm Beach County clerk we mentioned yesterday. Gosh, that's that is unsavory. Those damn details, huh?
Do you know what he did to the victim?
What I'm reading, tell me if I'm missing anything. According to what came up for me, he's alleged sexually abused a young male under the age of 12, relative repeatedly between November of 2024 and 25. They say it began after the child's father reportedly observed the child engaging in sexualized behavior with his younger brother in October of last year.
Okay, so the dad saw something. He's like, who taught you how to do that?
Yep. Then they go into a 7-day Royal Caribbean cruise aboard the Icon of the Seas that Caruso purchased for members of his family in 2025. The child was aboard with his parents, uncles, Caruso, and other family members. Caruso then separated the child from his parents during the cruise, saying, I'm going to go take him to get ice cream. The damn kid never got ice cream.
Wow.
And so that's the kind of stuff is at least an hour. He allegedly then told investigators that Caruso showered with him and assaulted him during the cruise. The child later disclosed the abuse to his parents, contacted authorities, And Caruso tried to discourage family members from reporting the alleged abuse, saying, I'm going to go away. They'll arrest me if you say anything. And they're looking at 5 felony charges, including kidnapping, lewd and lascivious molestation, all kinds of terrible stuff like that. So this is just, that's as ugly as it can get.
He apparently pulled an R. Kelly on him.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you just drop a jail on top of this guy. Yeah, if they get the proof on that.
That's crazy.
I'd much rather talk about the kitty.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
it's dark.
It is a dark one, man, but it's just, again, you got those issues with can't trust anybody, right?
Can't trust anybody.
I don't think that's true.
I do.
Well, I know you do, and you sound like my mother when you say that. But I know what you guys mean. I don't want paranoia
you trusted a guy that had gotten you onto a cruise to go take your kid to get him ice cream, and that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
The guy who buys you a cruise who wants to take your kid to get ice cream, when you got a situation to be like, I'm not gonna trust it that everything's gonna be good. I'm gonna go with you and make sure everything's okay.
Well,
right.
Of course, on a situation like that, what I'm saying is I just don't want everyone to be so paranoid of everybody to where no one's saying hello to anybody. And
it's not about meeting people. It's more about like when you're in situations and you think you know somebody and you think you trust somebody, always err on the side of caution, because these stories just they happen too frequently.
I'm not sure I know you.
People you know.
I'm not sure I know you two motherfuckers. And I've worked with you for 23 years.
Dave Ehrenberg was talking a bit about the arrest and what it's like trying to convict this possible scumbag.
These allegations are obviously shocking and really disturbing. Prosecutors will try to find corroborating evidence, and that means that there's a lot of investigating that still needs to be done on the cruise ship where allegedly some of this happened. And cruise ships are known for having lots of cameras around, lots of witnesses, and so you could have some corroborating evidence on the cruise ship.
Yeah, so hopefully the truth comes out on that.
Yeah, the cameras will tell a story of exactly where they went and when on the cruise ship. Those are very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
When you guys go out in public, are you always kind of cognizant of cameras being around all the time?
Totally.
I was never like that everywhere I go. And I'm not doing anything shady. I'm trying to see and notice if they are really everywhere. And they are really in a lot of spots.
No,
good luck getting good. I mean, if you are doing something shady and you don't get caught, I don't know how that's happening.
Yeah.
And that does happen.
You're getting lucky.
There are some people who do shit. We always talk about, you can't do anything as a criminal, you'll get caught. That's not true. Some don't get caught, and I don't know how they don't get caught.
Yeah. Engineer Keith, who knows a good bit about these AI cameras and whatnot, and AI in general, he said, I think there's one piece missing from the flock camera discussion. The issue isn't whether they can be used for good or bad things. It's who gets to decide what bad is. Maybe today the people running the system are completely reasonable and they use it to investigate actual crimes, but once you build that surveillance infrastructure, it's there for whoever controls it 10 to 20 years from now. Something completely normal today could become suspicious tomorrow. The cameras didn't change. The definition of who deserves scrutiny did. That's why if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to worry about, doesn't work for me. You don't know what some future authority will decide you're supposed to be hiding. Don't judge a surveillance system by the best people who might run it. Judge it by the worst people who eventually could.
Nice try, AI engineer Keith. That was not the real Keith. I can tell by the verbiage. That was the AI engineer Keith, and we're on to you.
Oh, he's going against his people then.
I'm just being a dick, Kev.
It's very anti-AI.
I like busted engineer Keith's balls. He's a good sport about it.
Yes, he is.
Another comment we got here from Sarah. She has been locked into the Lindsay Clancy case that has been going on. And yesterday, Lindsay Clancy's former mother-in-law had testified that Lindsay Clancy had been begging for help in the weeks before she killed her 3 children. She was telling family members she was struggling and needed support. 5, 3, and 8-month-old is what she had. And they even had a clinical and forensic psychologist, Dr. Paul Zeisel, who visited Lindsay Clancy in the hospital in February 2023, testified that she was handcuffed to her bed, unable to move below her sternum, heavily medicated for pain, and confused about where she was. But he had talked about what she was saying during the call that he had with her.
A psychologist who evaluated Lindsay Clancy after she killed the children and tried to kill herself described a phone call she made to her husband from a hospital bed.
She had said that she heard a male voice ordering her, telling her that she didn't have any choice, but she had to kill her children and then kill herself.
Now, Sarah, she said, here's my own postpartum experience. I want to congratulate you guys for being open to it and wanting to know more, admitting that you don't know a lot about it, not just writing it off. She said, this is my insight as someone who struggled massively with it, as someone who felt like she couldn't ask for help. I am in no way, shape, or form minimizing the loss of 3 innocent lives. I am bringing awareness to how poorly this country handles mental health, especially maternal mental health. In 2015, I had 2 children under the age of 2. I was nursing an infant with colic and silent reflux, caring for a toddler who had recently been diagnosed with disabilities, and my sleep was non-existent. Over the next year, I noticed my anxiety ramping up anytime I needed to leave the house. My brain was filled with constant horrific scenarios of things that could happen to my kids. I wouldn't shower unless another adult was home for the kids. I wouldn't leave them alone while they were eating. I couldn't operate without playing out all the bad scenarios that were going to happen in my head. So I went to my mom. She's got 30 years of nursing experience, and I asked for help. And I asked if this was normal. And I asked if it was postpartum depression, and I was dismissed. So I never brought it back up to anybody else again. Not one doctor noticed the heaviness in my eyes or the shakiness of my voice whenever somebody asked how I was. So I continued becoming a recluse inside my own home. And then for almost 6 years, I went without help until one day I called my husband from my car in the middle of a panic attack. Felt like I just needed to drive away as far as I could. I felt like a burden to the whole family and our kids. He didn't let this win, though. And the next day, I joined him and his therapist, and I got the help that I needed. And that's why this case is so devastatingly deep for me. She was a mom who was repeatedly expressing that something was wrong, continually asking for help, and got none of it.
And this is what is different, is that the mom was actually asking for help. People who have mental health issues, and I'm not embarrassed to talk about it. I got mental health issues, but for a long time, I was afraid to talk about them because people always say they want to help. They want to help, but then you start to feel like you are a burden, and then you start to keep certain things to yourself because you don't want to be the reason why no one's having a good time. And it's a hard thing to talk about with people because you're talking about heavy shit, and a lot of people, everyone's dealing with something.
Sure.
Everyone's dealing with something, but it can be a very hard thing to talk about. And the fact that she was even asking for help and it didn't seem to work. That's crazy.
It shows you that the system is broken when it comes to taking care of postpartum women. It's a new thing.
Well,
not everybody knows how to do it.
The other thing, too, I think happens that we don't talk about a lot. I do think there's a problem with doctors prescribing medication that doesn't need to be prescribed. I don't know how this stuff works, but sometimes you can take a medication and that's supposed to help you. It can make you drastically worse.
Right.
It can change your personality into something you're not. And you think it's supposed to help you because a doctor told you, but you don't know if that doctor just made a business deal with this new medication and they're getting, all that stuff happens.
Right.
You as the patient go in there not knowing because you're thinking you just want help. That's why I write lists down. You always say be an advocate for your own health.
You have to.
You have to be.
You have to take notes, and it's helpful to bring an advocate with you on top of you being there, and they help take notes.
And it does take work with yourself too. And I know that's tough if you are in a mentally declining state, but it does require you to write down your moods, what worked, what did not work, why did that make me this way? And then you tell that to the doctor, and then they start to chart, and they kind of get down to, all right, what's the main issue here? What's happening here? But it takes some work to do.
Sarah said, mothers should not have to reach their absolute breaking point before somebody listens or takes them seriously. She loved those children. It's so evident. Mothers deserve better mental health care, and all of our children deserve a system that understands just how serious maternal mental health can become. Thank you for your feedback on that.
Yes,
Appreciate
absolutely.
The one thing I will say, I do think there are a lot of places out there that weren't available that do help people with mental health. I think, again, people are afraid to admit that they got issues, but I do think there's a lot more places you can get help with that weren't there.
Well, this case alone is shedding so much light on it, and it's going to help so many other mothers that are going through postpartum and feel like no one's been listening to them. Like, this is making the country listen.
I do think there are, I know we need a lot of help with mental health, but there are people willing to listen more now than there ever has been, in my opinion.
That's good, but we need to get better.
Well, and you look back 11 years, there is a move that Neutrogena made that I think today maybe they might be regretting. Did you see that a lot of Hayden Panettiere fans have taken to social media to demand a national boycott of Neutrogena, the skincare company that worked with her from 2005 to 2015? And she first spoke out against the face wash giant for severing her contract in 2015, claiming she was released after speaking up against postpartum depression. They dropped her. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But the fans are like going, lash out at somebody. And so they're going after Neutrogena now.
Well, apparently Neutrogena said there was a morality clause, and that's why they weren't interested in continuing the relationship with Hayden. So talking about being postpartum depressed breaks their morality clause. And I think that's what a lot of women that formerly used Neutrogena products, myself included, have a big problem with.
I'm just curious because not that people would overreact, but do we definitely know that that's absolutely why she was released? Because look, Hayden has had some other issues going on, being with some unsavory people and having some stuff that, could it have been something else that she did to actually violate the clause? It wasn't just talking about postpartum depression, but it makes it sound so terrible that you would get rid of somebody if that was the real reason.
All of the internet is saying that it was the talk about postpartum depression, and it happened.
All the internet's absolutely correct.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm just telling you what's out there. Because it happened. It happened. There's a timeline.
I'm just telling the internet, like, show me the proof.
All right, I'm going to leave. She went on with Kelly Ripa. I have to go to my gynecologist.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she was on with Ripa.
Yes, that's true.
Right.
She talked about it with Ripa, and then immediately they tried to let her go from her contract.
Well, I think Neutrogena has some explaining to do. They need to say either we completely messed up or that wasn't the case, that there was actually something else that you're unaware of that we got rid of her for and cut that contract.
Keep in mind, the internet usually jumps to conclusions and they don't wait for evidence, and they want the answer within 12 hours. People don't know what the real deal is until you get all the facts. You have no idea what fucking happened.
Right. Yeah. And one person said, I read that Neutrogena was owned by Johnson & Johnson at that time, and now they're no longer owned by that company. So, sometimes, things can happen where, there might be other underlying circumstances. Maybe her fame was fading at that point. They said, hey, we think we got a hotter name.
We always think we know everything because we're on the internet.
Yes.
Me included.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all guilty of it.
Yeah.
Because we live in on-demand culture and we want the answers right now, and we have to be right.
Sure. And somebody's saying, she had publicly said they dropped her because of talking about it. So you are taking her word for it, apparently. But yeah, it's where I think Neutrogena today, if you're getting lambasted, you need to address it and either fall on the sword and apologize, be like, that was terrible and we've learned a lesson and we want to encourage everybody to learn from the same lesson we did, or explain why maybe the real reason is why you got rid of her if there was another one.
Damn, Neutrogena made Virginia leave.
I know, she got out of here,
That's all we have to do?
Well, we know that trigger now.
I'm just kidding.
Yes. Well, I think we all have to get out of here. It's about that time. Got to let the people go to work and do whatever they're going to be doing today. But I appreciate you guys locking us in here today for another round of the After the Show. And thank you so much to the emails, too. You guys really drive this part of the KVJ show. And whatever you got to say, it's a big part of what we want to hear. So send it to us, mail@kvjshow.com.